They entered as criminals, but left as something much worse. Behind these walls, mercy was a myth, and survival came at a cost: your humanity. The prison that turned inmates into monsters. Located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Eastern State Penitentiary was once hailed as the most advanced prison in the world. Built in 1829, its design was revolutionary, not just in structure, but in philosophy. Here, inmates were subjected to Pennsylvania system, complete, enforced solitary confinement. No visitors, no interaction, no light, just silence and time. But the theory that isolation would lead to repentance, it broke minds instead. By the early 1900s, the prison had become a breeding ground for madness. Former guards reported inmates who spoke to shadows, screamed for hours, or simply forgot their own names. In 1893, Joseph Taylor, a 27-year-old man sentenced for armed robbery, arrived at Eastern State. He had a record, but nothing violent. By his second year, things began to unravel. Guards noted he would scratch Bible verses into the stone walls with his fingernails. He began eating insects to purify his body. Eventually, he was found naked, kneeling in his cell, his eyes gouged nearly shut, claiming he had seen God inside the walls. But Joseph's transformation wasn't just psychological. 2 weeks after being temporarily placed in group confinement for evaluation, he slit another inmate's throat with a piece of glass he'd hidden in his mouth. He whispered, "He was speaking lies to me in the night." Joseph was declared criminally insane. He died in 1898 in a psychiatric ward, unrecognizable from the man who had first arrived. Alfred Wainwright was a petty thief, known to authorities for repeat offenses but no violent history. He was sentenced to Eastern State in 1921 for burglary. But the system didn't forgive repeat offenders. Alfred was thrown into Block 14, one of the harshest wings of the prison. There, inmates claimed the guards ran a twisted game called the box. Prisoners who disobeyed were locked in a coffin-sized space for 72 hours, standing room only. Alfred lasted 3 rounds in the box. When he emerged, something had changed. Fellow inmates said he spoke in a whisper and never blinked. One night in 1923, Alfred attacked a new prisoner, stabbing him 17 times with a sharpened toothbrush over a stolen blanket. His words, "I learned that kindness is weakness. I won't be weak anymore." Alfred lived to serve his full sentence and was released in 1935. But 2 years later, he was arrested again, this time for murdering a man in a soup kitchen line over bread. He died in prison. But he was never the same man who had entered. Eastern State was shut down in 1971, its cells left to rot. Today, it stands as a tourist site, a museum of failed justice and shattered psyches. But walk its halls long enough, and you'll hear the echoes, not of footsteps, but of men, once ordinary, who were twisted into monsters by the very system meant to reform them. Some prisons don't just hold monsters, they create them. Subscribe for more forgotten truths from the past at PastReboot.